All right, everyone. I think we're recording. All right, we are here with our next stranger. Could you tell us your name and a little about yourself?
My name's Ryan. I like alcohol a lot. I'm from England, so of course, fucking underage drinking capital of the world. Am I right? Oh, drinking in a field when you're 12 years old, nothing can beat that.
So,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, go for it. I interrupted you.
Well, I've got deaf parents, so I have no filter. But I'm always loud, so that's my personality. It's just loud,
Okay, just loud.
just loud.
I love how you're just like,
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing I do. It's just I just fucking just stop in the middle of a sentence where it sounds like I'm going to say something else, but it just cuts it off.
so what is the drinking age in England?
Uh, Legally 18, but outside of specifics where if you're having it with a meal you can have it, but like just drinking is 18. But I mean, if you live fucking anywhere, you normally have like a Smirnoff Ice or like WKD Blue when you're 13. You're sitting in a field with your friends, sharing one bottle, and you're acting like you're drunk because apparently that's cool. And yes, I mean, but 18 is when everyone goes off the rails till about 21, 22. Some grow out of it, some don't. The three bottles of alcohol right next to my table, I think they speak for themselves, really.
Dude, what's the difference between England and the UK?
Well, you see, England thinks they're better than the rest of the UK. So the UK is three countries and one that's part of a country. I'll get to that in a minute. They're gonna. I mean, they hate that. So you got England, which is like the main bit, the one that like tried to take over the whole world, and then bottled it really big, late in the game. So and then you got Wales, which everyone just decides to forget about because no one really likes them. Because in England, that is, I mean, like I don't think anyone in the UK really likes each other, like country wise. So like everyone will say they don't like outwardly hate, but like they just say it because that's the thing to do over here. So so you got Wales,
Huh.
which lots of stereotypes. Then you got Ireland, where Northern Ireland. Okay, not Northern Ireland. Nothing's wrong with them. No, never. No, Ireland's a great country. I like Ireland. It's quite fun. They're very fun to drink with. If you drink in the right pubs, if you drink in the wrong pubs, you're probably dead. Scotland, if you drink in any pubs, they're going to drink you to death. They really like alcohol. I mean, I love the Scottish culture of just getting absolutely battered. It's quite entertaining. But then you've got all sorts of cultures all up and down England as well. You've got like Manchester, where you've got different like groups like specific to Manchester. You got like the ones that always wear like the canvas hats and like the hipsters. Quite a big hipster scene up in Manchester. You got Liverpool, goddamn Liverpool. Fucking yeah, mate, fucking yeah. Like you got deep pitch. There's so many regional accents in the UK, and like you can figure it out as soon as you hear one of them say it. You can track down like, oh, you're from Birmingham. Okay, I'm going to find someone else to talk to now, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, in London, you got like the biggest, like I feel like quite a big combination of different cultures and stuff. There are issues like there are all over the world, but I feel like in London, a lot of people do get along with the case of a few bad eggs, but who doesn't have those? Mm. And then like there's quite a big like community up in, especially like near London, like Camden Town, that sort of area. You've got quite a big, nice mixture.
Now, do you think dude? That was great. That was like a whole, yeah, man. You know your home, your homeland.
You gotta.
Are you from London? Is that where like?
Just south of London. So I avoid most of like the busyness and the really like because I mean there is a lot of bad stuff that happens in London, Croydon. But that's like any of the big cities like Birmingham, Liverpool, Manchester. You're always going to have the bad areas, but there's a lot of there's areas of London you really just want to avoid if you have the. I mean, like there's a lot of good areas in London as well. I mean, especially in the touristy areas, like if you visit there, you're going to be fine. But like, if you go too far, you never know. It's just a bit
Do you
different.
do you think the UK has a drinking problem? Like, do you think that the drinking age should be lowered legally?
I believe that by the time most people hit the age of 18, they've already had many hangovers, and I don't think like just saying the law is like that is going to help anything. I mean, you can drink in the safety of your own home, but like I think that's what it is to keep those under 18s like separate from the ones that are legally able to go to nightclubs and like stuff like that, because you want to keep the young ones, like the 16s and 17s that would probably be included in a law like that. You want to keep them away from like the bad proper, like the roofies and like just the rapists, like just out in nightclubs and pubs and stuff like that you definitely don't want to subject someone that age to. Like, you don't want to subject anyone to that, but like you really want to protect those whilst they're still growing mentally, because that could, like, stuff like that can cause even more damage at an age like that.
Dude, yeah.
I mean,
interesting perspective. Yeah, I hadn't heard that perspective really. I mean, in the United States, the drinking age is 21. I'm not sure if you knew that. And so,
I feel like that's unnecessarily high. By the time that's my age, and I've been drinking for many years, and like
you've been drinking since 5. Yeah.
I mean, it's not far off, to be honest. I mean, you slowly build up to it. By 7, you've had your first vodka Coke, and then it's just from the air. No, I mean, I probably started when I was about 15, 16. You don't, when you're that age. At least back then, from my friend group and all of the people that I knew, they like alcohol wasn't the easiest to come by, so you would never get like overly drunk. I don't know about that now. I feel like a lot more parents are the younger parents, and like them are a lot more relaxed around their kids, and like, oh yeah, here take this bottle of vodka, here, have this. It's just I don't know, but I feel like I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking, especially like if you're with friends in a house. It's not like you're going out somewhere dangerous, getting drunk, causing problems. Like if you're in the safety of like a friend's house or like something like that, it's not too bad. Like
that's the best place to like learn how to drink. Is like in the safety of your own home and with people around that are like that are supportive, and that's like with weed too. But what was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something about about weed and about like marijuana. There is that also as easily accessible as alcohol? Okay.
I don't surround myself with. I've worked in a pub, so I know that like cocaine very easy to get a hand of. Ketamine, weed, it's very easy to get. It's quite widely spread around at least in the area I was, but I believe that like stuff like marijuana is quite easy to get. I don't think it's too bad, especially like small amounts. I know like there are research shows that say it can damage a developing brain, but I mean like it's hard to say. I mean, as someone who's never like done any drugs, I'm like fucking boring, right? But I wouldn't say I know much about it, but I know I've seen it go both ways. Where I've seen people be perfectly fine. They're now on like 3,000 a month, something like that. But when they were doing like coke every weekend and stuff like that, and I've seen other people my age that are just now like they got 3 kids.
Wow.
Just like out of nowhere.
I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine 3 kids at like before 20 years old? There's no way.
No, I mean, the thing is, like, especially in my area, I know there's quite a few people like that. I mean, they look happy with their kids. I will say, like, I don't think I know anyone that hasn't got both parents, at least, in their life. I mean, I'm not saying they're together, but like the mother and the father, they see their kids on a regular basis, and like they seem happy. And I mean, if it's working for them, I don't mind it. But I mean, I feel like, some people just definitely, I've seen like their lives go downhill because they do like weed and coke and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like it depends on the mindset. Like some people just have an addictive mindset to whatever they do, and they just do it to excess, and some people just don't. You know.
Where do you think you lie on that spectrum?
What I do, well, normally I'll have about a month or two of just off the rails, fucking gambling, drinking. Like, you know, I had a big gambling phase for about 6 months, and just I made money, but like I realized like after I lost about $2,000 of like the 6 that I made, I'm like, I should probably stop. And like I mean, I definitely realized that like it breeds a negative mindset, especially when you're addicted to something, and like it's hard to. It's even when you notice it, it's hard to say I want to stop. I'm trying to, but I can't. Like, and it's not just like alcohol and stuff like that. It's food. Like a lot of people struggle. Like their appetites, they can't help it, and they're trying. Like they take measures, but they still can't do it. They still seem to put weight on, or it's just like eating. It's not really like a weight issue, but like they just eat and eat, and they can't put on weight, and they just eat such unhealthy foods that they're just like their energy levels, they're just not in the right mental health from it. Mental health is quite a big problem with addictions.
Wow, interesting. Do you have like any friends who are like kind of in worse straits than you are with the kind of addictive attitudes or addictive behaviors?
I knew when I worked at the pub, I had a really close friend. Me and her are still very good friends, and like we still talk regularly. But there was a stint where she would seem to be like she would spend as soon as payday come, all her money was on cocaine, weed, and alcohol. But I mean, now she's making $3,300 a month, which is really solid for someone her age.
Yes.
Like she seems to be happy with her boyfriend. Like she seems to be much better. I'm sure she still does weed, but in smaller amounts because she's gotten control of it. But I know that she spent a long time like fighting that addiction, and like she seems to be much better now, and I'm glad for it. But I don't know too many people that have gone extremely far down. I've heard stories from friends about their friends that have done it, and I can see, and I see them, and I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. I mean, you want to try and help them, but it's like, what can you really do? Because it's like they kind of need, like, no matter what you say to them, that it's like their choice and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah. Well,
I don't know what's going on in their heads.
I think that, you know, like actually one of the other people that I talked to on this channel was kind of from rural Georgia here in the U.S., and he was a meth addict, and for like 4 years, and he was 20 years old, right? And he was like talking about like how his dad, he was like 3 years old when his dad went to jail for like cooking meth, and then like when he got like at 3 years old when his dad got out of jail, like his mom left him with the dad, and it's just like although I think those it must be like I mean, to say it lightly, like turbulence in the younger years, and like just pain of I don't know, feeling that like you're a burden or something that maybe like incentivizes people to want to just kind of like be like, fuck, I'm so tired of just like feeling so down all the time. Like, let me just get an escape from this life, right? Like, I think that it seems
a lot of
like
it
that
comes from the situations they're in. Like, it's like they're raised around those shitty situations.
That's it.
And like they develop alongside it, and they may see like the good life with someone else, but like they don't know how to get to that, and it's very difficult to like get yourself out of a situation like that, because like you're down, you've got to get a job, and it's like it's difficult, especially in the market right now where like a lot of jobs are like being lost and made redundant.
Whenever like the first memories that you ever have are feelings of a burden on loved ones, how could you ever try to get out of that mentality when it is literally mentally all that you know? You know, like, and of course these things like drugs. It's like you hear that they're bad, but you also hear that they help let you see the world in a different way. And it's like, fuck, like I want to see the world in a different way. My world sucks. So they go into it, and I'm not. I mean, I think the way that out of it, unfortunately, is like taking responsibility for yourself and wanting to change, but like, you know, it's like when it comes to like their first kind of taste of these things, it may not actually be their fault, in the first place. But then again,
it's nothing that can be helped.
It's
a lot of the time.
But I was interested. You mentioned that your parents are both deaf. Could you Could you talk a little about that? That's a really interesting story.
Well, see, my mother, she was born deaf. Apparently, it took them about a year to figure out that she was actually deaf because, like, as a baby, maybe they're just an unresponsive baby, so when they finally found out, they were like, "Oh boy!" And then my mum's sister is also deaf, so my nan had a long time raising her and dealing with that, alongside my grandfather as well, of course. And then my father. He was around 3 or 4 years old, and he contracted viral meningitis, where he ended up in a coma, and he eventually came out. Thankfully, came out of the coma, and he came out deaf. He lost all abilities he learned, and he slowly had to work his way back up to that. However, like his younger brother, luckily for him, he didn't get anything from it, so he's perfectly hearing. So like, I remember a story my grandparents would tell me, like when they would go to a beach or something with my dad, and like they were trying to get his attention, they would just throw like these little stones at him, and parents would just like give them these weird little looks. And but it's caused some issues in the house. I will admit. My father's always wanted a deaf child, and he's always wanted a daughter as well, like at the same time. And I'm the first child, and as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm having a conversation in the headphone, I'm not deaf, and I'm also not a female. So when my sister came along 5 years later, well, I mean, it's quite easy to see who got the preference in the family. But I mean, I don't mind it. Like I completely understand it. Like for someone being raised in a world where like everyone else is getting prioritized because they can hear, and like, well, they don't want you to work this job because you can't hear, so you'd be harder to work with. So of course he's going to have issues with hearing people. Like me and my father get along absolutely great, like 100%. I'm not talking about that, but like I know that like deep down he wishes, and like I've got no problem with that, because I mean, like you've got your heart set on something, and like it's not the same, but like he still gave me love, attention, and care, and like looked after me, and he still does. So I mean, I respect my father, because like I feel like some parents in that situation, they just wouldn't deal with it in the same way that my father has.
Wow. So like what like for the people watching, like what are some things that that people don't realize about like living in a deaf household, or just being deaf, you think that other people just don't realize or may think about, like just in ordinary life?
Well, in a deaf household, when you get an angry parent, they don't know how loud they are, and as my dad is a very loud man to begin with, and when he starts shouting, oh boy, I can hear him from the top of the road. If he's like outside of the front garden, I can hear him from the top of the road, like 100 meters away. I mean, it's incredible. Just talking, it's an incredible skill that man has. But like, I feel like I get a lot of sympathy. Like people are like, oh, I'm sorry, that must suck living in a deaf household. But I'm like, as a hearing child, I've had no disadvantages from it. You know,
right.
Okay, maybe like, oh, my parents don't understand some of the things I say sometimes, so it takes me a couple of goes at the sentence. However, like, I get a lot more freedom and privacy than a lot of other children would have had, and I feel like that's allowed me to grow and develop into the person that I am today. And I probably would be completely different, maybe better, maybe a lot worse, who knows, you know. But I mean, it is the way it is, and I'm the way I am, and I'm happy with the way my life is currently. I mean, the gambling wasn't fun, but I mean But I mean, at the moment,
it's fun when it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, when the fun stops, stop. You know, I think the saying is. Yeah, there's definitely communication issues sometimes. I mean, I feel like that's a given. You know, it's words and like stuff just doesn't translate well. You know, like it's like speaking a second language because it's with your hands, and it's like you got to be quite accurate because some words are very similar to other words, and because I wasn't raised by learning sign language primarily because I was with my grandparents a lot of the time. I would spend the days with them and then come home during the evening until school started. And when I was 4 years old, and then I would start going to school and then I would speak there. And then when I would come home, it would be like video games and stuff like that. So communication with my parents wasn't like something I completely learned how to do sign language for. I mean, I know basics and I can speak to them. But like a lot of it is based off of like lip reading, so it does take a while to get some words through, and sometimes you have to just pull out your phone and just be like type out a message and show it that way. But I mean, I would say like if you have deaf parents, it really isn't that bad of a thing at all. It's only bad if you try and see the negatives, but there's a lot of positives to take from it. You know,
mindset. Yeah, absolutely. Your approach to it. Yeah. You were mentioning like that sometimes you get people who are like, oh, I'm like so sorry about that and stuff. And like, does that happen to you a lot, or has it in the past? Like,
well,
kind of like a pitying kind of thing.
It's sometimes like you hear, oh, that's quite cool. I bet you watch porn all the time. Like, weird, right? Like, why is that your first thought? It's not like, oh, you can swear, you can say what you want, you can sneak people over perhaps or something like that, you know. But like, yeah, like a lot of people feel sorry for you, and it's like, well, it's the way I've raised. Like, I don't know any other life. I haven't. It's not like my parents were hearing and then suddenly they were deaf, and now I've got an uphill battle because now I can't talk to my parents because now they can't hear me, you know. But
yeah.
I was raised that way.
That's fascinating. Like, what is so fascinating about doing, like, what I've been... Oh, I just, like, kicked the thing. Is, like, no, just, like, you know, like, I'm on Omegle, and I, like, cycle through, and, like, every single person has just such an interesting story. Just, like, a life and like these, like, childhoods and experiences that you just would not imagine you would ever come across, you know, like that. I just think that's fascinating.
Well, that's on here. When you're on Tinder, oh my god, the people on there are so boring. Like it's like, who taught you how to like speak a sentence? It's like they must need to go to like conversation classes or something, because like, oh, on there it's dull. Dude, that's why I spend my time on here. Not looking for people, but just like conversations, like just mind my own business, just like chilling out.
Yeah, just looking to like connect to someone and like talk to. You
exactly.
know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, like Tinder and Bumble and all of these things. Like, I am convinced that people are just so wrapped up in their own heads about their own communication that they don't know. They just don't know how to let it go and be themselves. I think I think that dating apps actually hinder us from finding people who we're actually like compatible with. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I feel like most of my relationships that come from Tinder are just absolutely terrible. But like people that you meet randomly, like, yes, it's definitely you're going to meet someone like that a lot less frequently. However, I feel like the connection like you make there is real. It's not like superficial. Oh, I find you attractive. Oh, let's do this, you know. And it's like it's like you create a bond with someone if you're with in person, you know. It's not like, oh, screw this. Oh.
Yeah, no,
I feel like dating apps and stuff like that are a lot less dangerous than people thought they were going to be. Especially early days of the internet, everyone on the internet is a murderer. Definitely not. Definitely not. But I feel like there's definitely threats out there. I know for a fact that the Grindr community and like the gay dating, like the gay hookup community, I guess I should say, like with online and stuff, is quite dangerous. I've heard. I've read reports like oh, if you're meeting someone, put all your personal belonging. Don't meet them in your house. Don't meet them at their house. Put your belongings somewhere not near your car, but somewhere you know you can get to in case you get attacked. It's like people shouldn't be attacked for like doing their own thing.
Yeah,
like that's something they want to do.
Yeah. People should just be treated with. Oh, interesting. I haven't heard that at all about Grindr.
No, it's dangerous. Like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of them on there are completely, but of course, like usual, you get the bad ones, and it's just like, and then you hear stories. It's like,
I know
it's wrong.
It's not. Yeah, I just don't think that the way to like me. I mean, there are people who have met from dating apps and it works out. And I think that those are the people who actually aren't afraid to kind of put themselves out there.
No.
But just like with any kind of social media now, it seems like the dating apps are very much like you look at the pictures that people choose to put on there, and there's a whole process. I mean, I did like dating apps for a very brief amount of time, very brief. I never actually met up with someone because of it. But it like, I'm like thinking, okay, like what if I start with this picture first and then these 3 pictures show that I'm like a family guy? Or then
you're stressing out way too much about it. It's just like too much pressure. It becomes a routine. It's like, oh, I've stopped speaking to this person because, of course, the conversation fizzled out because there's no real connection. Oh, I'll speak to this person. We'll go through the same points, and you find it boring. It's just the same thing over and over. And then you get the rare occasion where it's like you say something completely different, and like sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But like it really just depends on the people, and like it's just the connection. It's just.
Do you have a horror story from like a Tinder date or Grindr or whatever you do?
Fuck. Tinder.
Hey, there's no judgment.
Nothing's wrong with it, but Tinder definitely. Oh God. I mean, I've had dates where it's just like you're so boring, or it's like you're not the same person. Like
yeah.
Very clearly that is not you. I mean, it only happened once, but it was just like. It's someone. I was just waiting. Someone random approached me. I'm like, they said my name. I'm like, oh no, don't do this to me. And it's just, oh boy. And it's just, and you get like the people that you think are confident in person, and then like you meet up with them, and they're just completely quiet, and you give it time for them to get comfortable around you, and yet they're still just boring. It's just like with people like with like my personality, I just can't be around people. Like consistently like that, where I'm like they like them just being boring. I guess is the easy way to say it. Just drains me. It's like I can't. I need someone that engages me mentally. Otherwise, what's the point? Dude,
I had like this wasn't from a from a dating app, but I had a horrible date once with this girl that I used to work with. She was like this Bulgarian girl. And I used to live in New York City, and I used to be a clown, actually. I used to be a professional clown. So this girl was also a clown. And we went to this bar, and we sat down, and she just started taking shots like it was no one's business. Like, in the first 5 minutes, she had like 4 shots. And
that's an alarming start right there.
Yeah, I was
red flag.
And I was paying. So I was like, all right, like, okay, all right. No more, basically. And the waitress came by, and she was like, I'm sorry. She was like, give us one more. And the waitress was like, I'm sorry, like, we can't serve you anymore. Literally, you just had 4 shots in like 5 minutes, and you're like 100 pounds. And she looked at the woman and called her the N-word. And this woman, the waitress was white, first of all, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, no. What it means is that she was just completely psychopathic. Yeah, and basically I just sat there in silence as I ate my meal, and then I can't believe I didn't just walk out. Honestly, I actually kind of feel bad I didn't walk out. And then at the end, she was like waiting for her Uber, and I was like, all right, see you later. And she just looked so like sad as I walked away. But dude, I these
Dating with people you work with is a terrible idea. Especially retail. Retail's the worst.
Do you work in retail?
I work at a cafe that's also a soft play, right? So I started back in September. There was this girl that I was speaking to, and like I've got a sort of a flirty personality that I can't really help. It's not like, oh, I'm interested in you, that's why I'm flirting. It's just something that happens.
Yeah, you're just charismatic, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, got to have some personality, right? These days. So then turns out that the team leader, she was interested in me, and so I was like, well, I mean,
who wouldn't be?
Compared, I'm gonna go for that one, right? So I ended up dating the team leader for about a month.
No way.
During the time, her brother starts working there, and he knows like me and her are dating. Like we haven't like done anything like gone all of the way or anything with like me and her, but like. You know, I just keep winding him up, and he like winds me up. But it's like, oh, I'm gonna sleep with your sister, sort of thing. And it's just, it's sort of like workplace fun. And then her nan's dog dies, and she gets like really like emotional and sad, and calls things off. And like I'm like, oh, okay. So 2 days later, I start seeing I go out for drinks with the first girl and a different girl that also works there. And then a couple of days later, I invite the girl number 3 to my house.
Ryan, you are.
It goes somewhere. Okay, we'll just say it goes somewhere, and it becomes a thing. And rumors started, and eventually, the news came out about October time, Halloween. The team leader, she was mad. She was so mad. And she was like, oh, he was cheating. And she started trying to make rumors and everything. But like, because I am king gossip, right? All of the girls that she was speaking to there was like, no. But like, they were like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I believe you. But like, just everyone was like on my side because I just gossip and just like with everyone there. So like, and because it's like a younger workforce, it's just gossip based. So like, I get along with everyone there, apart from her. And then eventually around Christmas time, we're fine. And now I'm single again. And
yeah, perfect for COVID.
Oh yeah, it's broke up just before COVID. So,
wonder is that good or bad? Like.
I can confirm it is not very good because it's not like you can go out rebound. I mean, I'm not saying rebound is a healthy thing to do or anything, but like,
well, to each their own, I guess.
If that's what you want to do, you can't do that. You can't go out and like go out with your friends and just not celebrate, but like go out, hang out, have fun.
I like that
in
idea
a different way than you're used to. You're allowed to go have a different type of fun. You can't do that. I mean, and then like just talking to people, and everyone's on like Tinder and Bumble and stuff like that. And like because you can't go out, that's the only way to speak to people. But that's everyone else's idea as well. So it's just like you're speaking to someone that's speaking to 10 different people, but you're also speaking to multiple other people. And it's just like, well, you're the one that likes koalas, and then it's just like, well, what am I doing here? Like, what am I doing? So I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. What's the goal here? What's the real?
And then I decided, fuck it, fuck dating, Omegle, and I've just been on here, just trying to make funny content sometimes. I don't have any props at the moment, but like, yeah.
Well, I mean, like your charisma was very apparent, just like immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I like playing characters and stuff like that. I mean, Sometimes it's quite over the top. Sometimes it's like it's very stereotypical, like a priest or something. But like it's just like reading from something called the Bible too. Just I feel like there's nothing needs to be more said than that.
You do have the theatrical look of like a young priest. Actually, I mean that's
especially when I put the black shirt on, just get a little bit of a piece of paper, fold that, put that in there. It looks like I'm a fucking priest. I set it up where I have like the text Bible time underneath it, and it's just like, like people look at me, laugh, think I'm a real priest, and skip me. I'm like, oh well, damn! Now someone in this world thinks I'm a priest. Good. That's probably not going to end well. I'm probably going to burn forever for that.
What do you think? What are you thinking of? Like, what are your interests? Like, in terms of like going to school, is there something that you think that you're really interested in trying? Are you still testing some things out?
Oh well, I finished school.
Or high school, right?
Yeah, well, I finished like the extremely mandatory like basic secondary school. Finished that in 2015. Fucking hell. And then college, but that's like it's not really college. It's not like the university style. It's just like 2 years of that. But the teachers are a lot more relaxed. You only get like 2 days a week or something like that. It's a lot more laid back. Did that. I was there for 2 years, and then I left that. But when I left school, I started playing football. I started doing all sorts. Tried to pick up the guitar for about a month, left that. I picked that up at the start of quarantine again. I've been quite enjoying that now because I feel like my mindset's changed. It's like, well, if I do this and think about it this way, then it's a lot easier for me because I'm quite a kinesthetic learner, which means like you learn from doing stuff. So that's why I like playing sports. I like doing work that's not like too physical because I'm built like Slender Man, but like 6 foot, right? But like, so work that I can do like a barista. I'm cooking in the kitchen sometimes. Oh god, that's stress right there. That kitchen's a soft play, dude. Like where every customer is just an angry mother waiting to feed their kids, and their kids are moaning, so they're moaning, and then I'm just hearing it. And then the fryers break, and you're like, well, I can't fry anything. Okay, tell them, no fries. Get orders through. Oh, yeah, just chicken nuggets that go in the fryer. Oh, no, I put no fries. No, it's just like, some people there they just get, like, they just don't get it. But, like, yeah, I mean, all sorts of it. I used to enjoy cooking until I started working in the kitchen, and now I'm like, no, takeaways and microwave meals. I don't have time for this anymore. I'm after doing. Oh god, I could not imagine being a full-on chef like that. That my hairline's on the way back from just that. I mean, I don't want to do it.
So I just want to gather all this information. That
it was like a lot.
You're like a one-man show, man. It's great. It's great because I'm an actor. So I can appreciate the amount of energy and and heart that you have for life and storytelling. But so you're saying that you really like music. You don't really like the kitchen.
I mean, it's something that I have to do because the head chef quit and we had just a normal chef, but we needed someone else in because we can't just have one cook. And they were just like, oh yeah, you've done your health and safety training for like the kitchen. Here, go in the kitchen. What am I doing? Figure it out. You know, it's just, so I feel like if I had proper training under like some like proper cooking classes, but I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's just in the situation I am already, where it's we don't have like a massive amount of people. All they come in is for food, and it's stressful. I know that like a chef isn't a career for me, so I wouldn't want to like pursue that.
If I ask you to just kind of quickly say, if you could be anything, what would you want to be? Just quick, just instinctual.
Something about like a lawyer, you know, just like getting up there. It's a performance, really. It's like you've got to have charisma. You've got to be confident. You can't be just standing there with your hands in your pocket. You've got to be out there talking to people. You can't just. It's not like a job you can coast by on either. It's something you've got to be focused. It's something that's demanding. Which, like, you've got to keep on top of your game. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind, and you're just not going to. You're going to lose your job, and it's like very difficult. And I feel like if you become good at it, one, it's a good source of income, very good. However, I also think it would just be something, it keeps you engaged mentally for like many, many years.
Yeah, you don't get bored with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I see. Because it's not like, someone ran me over with their car every day sort of thing. It's like, you get varied cases. I'm sure like you specialize.
Yeah, you specialize in people getting run over by cars. You wouldn't want to do that.
You're like independent variables and like stuff changes. I feel like that, like a job like that could be enjoyable, but I mean, definitely stressful.
One more question: when you were younger, like, what did you really like to do? Was there something as a kid that you just did nonstop, or like that you would do so much that your parents would be like, okay, like now it's time to eat,
Halo 3 and Halo Reach, honestly, I spent most of my childhood playing those two games. Wow. I spent wasted many hours.
What about being a Twitch streamer? Have you thought of it?
I've thought about it, but it's like I'm not like one of these people that can stream a consistent game, and I feel like at least to get started off with, you need something very consistent to build a viewer base and then build upon that and have varied, like, look at this time I'm playing FIFA. Now I'm playing Skyrim. And it's like, I like to switch it up. I don't play the same thing every day. I might play Skyrim for like a week straight and then, 7 months later, let's start again sort of thing. It's not something that I can't stay onto one thing video game wise. Like work wise I can stay dedicated, but like video game wise it's like there's so many options out there, and like I've got such varying tastes, and like I play quite a lot of different games. It's like I'll do this and this.
I wonder if there's like if there isn't a market for that out there, like you have a pretty charismatic personality, and I'm sure and would like if you just kind of did, I don't know, because this is why I'm saying all this, is because like I just think like to make the world, I'm so about like making the world a better place. Like to be able to do that, we have to be able to do something that we love, like a dream job. Like we have to try. I believe that like we really have to dare to fail greatly. And like
I would like to do Twitch streaming. Like I've tried it in the past, but it's like it's I like to do it solo a lot of the time. I do have friends that I occasionally stream alongside, and then we'll all get drunk and play CS:GO. And like every time you die, drink. Back to the alcohol problem, but it always comes up. But yeah, no, it's like it's the thing is you want at least like 10 viewers, 15 viewers that like sometimes you can engage with chat with, but if you're just sat there and you're trying to like, I mean, I could probably like talk and just entertain by myself, but I couldn't do that constantly without seeing anything from it. It's quite a difficult thing to do. But I mean, it's
interesting.
I dabble still, but I mean, I never expect anything from it. I don't expect to be like, I'm going to be the next Pokemon, but male, I'm going to be Pokemon, something like that. But no, I don't have a whiteboard on my board over there, so I can't just like, pull up my trousers. Oh, look at that. They're nice and tight. Like, whoops, I dropped the pen, sort of thing. It's like, I don't expect to be anything like that, but just like something. I would never expect to make money off of Twitch, but like something where I could like once a week, couple times a week, just get home from work, turn on a stream, have like 3-5 people that like just like to talk and just talk to chat.
Yeah, just to hang
for a couple
out,
of hours
just for fun.
And just chillax. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, man, you're making me think about a lot of things, and Yeah, I appreciate this conversation. So one last question before we get going,
Hmm.
is what do you think is one thing that you've learned in life that is important to share that maybe other people may
Yeah.
not, I don't know, have learned, in their life.
Well, this one's oddly specific, but I feel like school is very important. Like you mess around in secondary school, and I feel like, yeah, it's a very boring part of your life just going to school every day. But like you're doing that as a job. Would you rather be doing the same thing every day, being paid a little amount because you didn't focus in school, or would you like to be paid a big amount and doing something that you might want to do, but because you focused in school and you went to college and maybe went to university and you put your time in, you can now do the job that you want. And like it's a lot harder if you don't focus in school and you don't pay attention. I kind of wish I focused a bit more. I mean, I
Mm.
don't think I got terrible grades, but I don't think I could have done as well as I could have if I just focused a lot more and like took school a lot more seriously.
Mm.
Of course, for a lot of people my age and above, it's a bit too late for that. But like for the younger people, 100%, like stick to school. Yeah, you might have fun with your friends just messing around, but like when you're in the classroom, you should really be paying attention to what these people are being paid to say. They didn't get the job for nothing. They're there to teach you and help you with your life and like further your education.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
should really
processing
give these
that work.
people,
Yeah,
yeah,
processing that knowledge. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from what I'm hearing from you and what I'm getting from that too is like, be grateful for the position that you're in
mm,
because, after you don't have that anymore, it's, you realize what you had after it's gone kind of thing.
definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from you. Awesome, dude. Well, thank you. And actually, if you want to send a picture of yourself for the thumbnail of the video, you could send it to that email that I put on here, buildingbridges505 at gmail.com. And I'm going to be uploading that video in the next 15 minutes, so it'll be up there.
Yep.
And
Oh
yeah,
god, I've got fun.
make sure to
I'll try
subscribe
and
and
find something. I'll try and find something, but we'll see.
If you don't want to, I'll just do a screenshot of you right now. But pictures always look better.
I don't mind. I mean, I feel like I don't take that many pictures, but I've got I never take serious pictures of myself as well.
Well,
I'm
perfect.
saying.
Well, perfect. Yeah, whatever works for you, dude.
I'll try and send you something that just shows my personality a bit. Yeah.
Cool, dude.
I-
Hey, man, it was a blast. Thanks so much, and
No worries.
I'll talk to you soon.
Right, have a great day.
All right, man. See you, dude. Bye.
See ya.